Hey, Wayne here, and today we're going to unbox and install the Himiway step-through Cruiser. If you'd like to see the full review of this bike, please check out my review links below the video. All right, so since I'm working alone today, I'm going to cut the box open and lay it down, I think. Okay, you're going to want to get some clippers and start clipping all these wire ties off. Once you have the bike unboxed and ready to start installing all the parts on it, you're going to want to go through the accessory box that came with the bike, because there's a set of tools in there that you're going to be able to use. All right, so this is the Himiway accessories box. Let's open it up to see what we get. Inside we've got a Himiway cap. Looks like maybe a protector for the derailleur. Check that out later. This is what you'll use to install the front wheel to the bike. Here is that tool kit that I was talking about. We're going to want to use this, so let me open that up real quick. This seems like a pretty nice one too, a little nicer than what comes with all the other bikes that I've gotten. So this is pretty cool to have. This is the front headlight. This will be plugged in later. Your pedals, and of course your charger will be in this box. And let's take a quick look at it. Okay, so it's a regular charger, doesn't have a fan on it, so it's not like a quick charger that's going to stay cool or anything, but it's a decent charger. And of course you got your Himiway Cruiser step-through user manual. It's time to install the handlebars and the front tire and rim onto the bike, get more balance, and then you can tighten up everything and finish installing all the little bits and pieces that are still left. So to start, they ship the bike with the forks reversed. So you don't really have to do anything tool-wise, but grab this part here and carefully spin it back around so that the forks are facing the other direction. So let me do that really quick. Okay, so once you have the forks spun around in the right direction, the next thing you want to do to mount the handlebars is take these 4 bolts off right here, completely remove that plate, put the handlebars in, put the bolts back in, tighten it up, make a few adjustments, get them just right. You don't have to worry about tightening it too much right now. In the end, you're going to want to readjust everything perfectly, tighten down everything before you take it out for a ride. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the handlebars, and then I'll get to the rim and tire. Okay. If you're working alone, you can prop the bike up with a chair on the back end there, just to kind of hold it up, because on this next part, you're going to want to remove this plate from the bottom of the front forks. And a note, the toolbox or the tool kit that it comes with, it has the right size to remove that bolt, but because the bolt is all the way in, because the front tire isn't mounted yet, I can't really get that in there. So I'm using a 9/16 long deep socket to get it off. So you may have to do that yourself also. So make sure you have one of those on hand. So I'm going to remove that. I'm going to put the tire rim back in. I'm going to feed this through the center of that part right there, that hub, and tighten it all down, and we should be good to go after that. With just a few more things to tighten up, plug in, and bolt on. So we're almost there. So once you get the tire rim sitting inside the bike forks right here, the bike is actually just resting on it. It hasn't been mounted or bolted down yet. So I wanted to make a point though that when you're sliding this in, make sure that the brake rotor, this disc, is sliding into the brake pads right there. So you want to make sure that that's fitting in properly before you tighten everything up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece here, and I'm going to unscrew this tip part here, slide it through this side, all the way through, and then put this back on. And it's important, let me show you this part right here. So it's important that when you take this off, that the spring, pay attention to the wider side is on the outside, the smaller part goes on first. So we're going to feed this through right here. This one also has the spring set up the same way. Then we're going to come around to the other side. And now we are going to feed the smaller end in first, and then screw this part back on. All right, so that's on pretty good. Now back on this side, you're now ready to flip this up to lock your rim in place. So now what we want to do is install the front fender and the headlight. So to do this, there is a bolt on the front fender right here that you're going to want to just, it's only finger tight, so you're just going to be able to grab it and take it off, loosen it, take it off. Feed the bolt back through with the headlight mounted to the front here, and the back will be the fender, and the screw will go through all of it and tighten back up. So that's all there is to that. Let's get that done now. Okay, so before you tighten this headlight up too much with the fender attached to it, you're going to want to take these bolts off right here. There's one on each side, and grab this part of the fender mount, put it back through here, put the bolt back on, tighten them up on both sides, then finish it off by tightening the top. So with the headlight adjusted, of course. And that's going to be about it for the headlight, other than plugging this red plug into the red plug on the light. So those will just fit right in together. Just make sure you match the pins up and you should be good to go. Now let's put the rear rack on. Very easy. There's a bolt here under the seat post and another one here down by the derailleur. You're going to take those off on both sides, put the rack on, align it with the holes, put the screws back in, and tighten them all up, and the rack will be done. So Himiway has included a rear brake light that you just need to cut off this strap right here and then wire it back here at the back of the bike rack. So you just put the bolts through here or the screws through here, tighten it up in the back, and if the cable's got a little slack in it, maybe strap that down, and you're done with the rear light. So let's check that out now. Suggestion: before you mount the rack to the bike, mount the rear brake light on first. It'll be a lot easier to get to these bolts, and then put the rack on. I kind of did it the other way around. Now that the rear rack and brake light's installed, I'm going to go ahead and install this Derailleur Protector. There are two bolts here. One has nothing on it, and the other is holding the rear rack down. So I'm going to take them both off. I'll put this on, feed the bolts back through, tighten it down, and the Derailleur Protector will be done. So if you decide that you want to install the rear Derailleur Protector, there is a bolt right here that has nothing attached to it, and you have the rear fender bolt that's holding the fender on. You'll want to remove these two bolts, place the derailleur on just as I have it here and tighten everything back up. So, and that's it. Okay, for the pedals, you got 2 of them. Okay, for the pedals, you got a right and a left, and they are marked which way to tighten them up. So this one's going to go clockwise to the right, and the other side is going to go counterclockwise when you put that one on that side. Using a 15mm wrench will get it done. Okay, now that you have pretty much everything installed, you're going to want to make sure to check all these cables before you turn it on. I have one left from the display. So these 2 I will put together. They will match up right here. You could see, hopefully, the tip in there. So just match those up, push them together, and then we'll go over the display and turning it on for the first time. Okay, so I saved this for last. It's the display. I kept it covered up this whole time because with all the building and putting together, I didn't want to scratch it. So let's go ahead and cut that tie off and remove this strap, this wire tie. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it on for the first time and see if we got everything working. Yep, looking good. Nice big display. Wow, that's a big display. Once you get the bike done, go ahead and tighten everything down. Check, make sure everything's straight and tight. Make sure you got air in the tires, batteries charged up. And then if you want to see my full review, check for links down below the video. Get out there and ride, and I'll see you on the next one.